we're seeing the stage being set and how things are just continuing to come together. I was on with Ricky from End Times Headlines last night, and we said this is convergence. We're watching convergence. But one of the things, no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's happening, Jesus commands us not to be deceived. And so the disciples come to Jesus, and at the beginning of the Mount Olivet Discourse, and they ask Jesus, when are these things going to take place, and what are going to be the signs of your return? And before Jesus says anything about the signs, he says, see to it that you are not deceived. And this is one of the key passages that we have to approach studying end times with. It's not so much about the signs as it is making sure we're not deceived by the signs. We're not deceived by what is going on in the world, that we are led astray. And that may be the most important command underlying the entire update today. As Jesus says, he doesn't say watch the earthquakes, he says don't be deceived. And so one of the things that's been deceiving is really regarding Israel, and how you look at Tucker Carlson, or Candace, Propaganda Candace as we like to call her, and other people that are trying to make this false narrative about Israel and their fight against terrorism in the Gaza war. Just came out this past week. In Gaza, it has one of the lowest rates of child malnutrition in the Middle East. Now, that doesn't stand in the mainstream media narrative, does it? They want you to believe that, Israel is just committing genocide, even though the birth rate is higher in Gaza than in Israel itself. This is according to the World Bank and the UN-affiliated hunger monitoring system and UNICEF. So this isn't even, if people want to try to accuse Israel of making up their own statistics or something, Gaza has also, listen to this, the highest incidence of obesity and excess weight. You've been lied to and taken advantage of, and the people, those who listen and parrot the mainstream media, continue to just drink the Kool-Aid. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Do your research yourself. Talk about obesity. Go do the research yourself. Ask the tough questions. Stand up and make good decisions about what's going on. Another thing that we're talking about, and that's pretty hot right now, is the flock cameras. Flock has deployed, listen to this, more than 120,000 AI-enabled cameras nationwide. And its system processes, listen to this, roughly 20 billion license plate scans every month. Law enforcement can search vehicle location information across this huge network, and we've had officers that are using the system inappropriately, including an instance, I think it was in South Carolina, where they were looking for their exes and figuring out where their ex-girlfriends or boyfriends are going, and looking for romantic interests and so on. San Francisco discovered that its flock network had been improperly searched nearly 300 times, not by a hacker, not by some Joe Blow citizen, by federal and out-of-state agencies. Contrary to California restrictions, like if California has restrictions. And the technology is advancing. Wired reported last week that Flock's newer AI capabilities can infer vehicle movement patterns, identify potential witnesses based upon repeated presence in the area, identify associates. They're not only looking at license plates, they're looking at bumper stickers, roof racks, damage to the side of the car, who's driving the car. They're even finding flock cameras pointing into parks, alongside rivers, and in places where there's no cars. So what are they surveilling? Well, the most important conceptual shift is going from identification to behavioral mapping. Look, I had a LPR system in my police cruiser, and it read license plates, and then it would tell me, hey, this license plate belongs to a stolen car. I had to make the decision to confirm that information and then make law enforcement judicial on the issue. But now they're mapping where you're going. They're looking at everything that is happening and looking for patterns. How often are you going to the grocery store? How often are you driving here or there? You're not private anymore. Wherever you go is being mapped, tracked, and stored in databases. Revelation is describing a future regime possessing the extraordinary capabilities to identify, regulate, and exclude individuals from economic participation. This flock camera system is part of the structure that is going to be the enforcement technology of that day. It's not the enforcement technology today, but it will be when the beast system comes into place. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, we have International Christian Concern reporting that at least 24 Christians were killed in an overnight attack in Nigeria in the Plateau State. Earlier this month, Nigerian authorities arrested a suspect connected to the July 26 killing of at least 30 Christians in the predominantly Christian village of Naradon in another state. The broader statistics are what I want you to pay attention to, though. It's bad enough, but Open Doors 2026 World Watch reports, listen to this, about 72% of documented Christian martyrdom deaths happens in Nigeria. This needs to matter to us. This should be something that we should be paying attention to, praying for our brothers and sisters in Nigeria, because they're up against the satanic Islamic regimes that are trying to kill and martyr Christians. It is satanic and it is Islamic. Meanwhile, as other things that are happening, Fox Weather reported 187 earthquakes around the Pacific Ring of Fire during a recent 7-day period. Jesus says there's going to be famines and earthquakes in various places. There will be great earthquakes. Speaking of earthquakes and famines and just terrible things happening, are you following what's happening in Nepal at the Nepali-Chinese border? Horrible videos coming out of people being washed away by massive mudslides and flash floods. Entire villages and towns being washed away. They have only just begun to try to figure out how many have been killed, but just horrible scenes coming out of that region of the world. Jesus said this is just the beginning of birthing pains, my friends. The emphasis is ultimately on conditions associated with the end of the age. As birthing pains become more and more frequent and intense, we're going to continue to see these things get more significant leading up to the tribulation. But listen to this. Revelation predicts extraordinary seismic judgments. It says that in Revelation 16:18, it describes an earthquake that's going to happen, such as there has never been since man was on the earth. So this is all gearing up, I think, for that major earthquake that Revelation's talking about. Another story out of the Girl Scouts. Have you heard about this? Girl Scouts are now being taught the 5 pillars of Islam, and they can earn their Islam badge by going to All About Islam program that includes optional fasting during Ramadan for the older girls. They learn about the pilgrimage to Mecca, and they visit a participating activities at a mosque, and they learn all about wearing the hijab and Islamic dress and practice. This is the continued normalization. We talked last week about the coming Islamic tide that is going to be, if we're not serious, we don't get serious, get people out and voting. The Islamic worldview is being normalized. We are raising a generation and a culture that increasingly says religious beliefs are interchangeable. And that's something we can never affirm as Christians, because Jesus did not say, I'm one of the ways. He said, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. No one, that's an exclusive statement, comes to the Father except by me. So someone is going to disciple our children. Who will it be? So we should not be surprised when our children eventually think like the culture. Jesus' first warning about the last days, again, was see to it that no one leads you astray. And make sure that's the same thing for our kids. Never before has it been more important that our children be discipled properly. So I want to leave you with a video that I think is going to make you want to storm hell with a water pistol, because this guy, I don't know if you saw this guy in Dearborn, Michigan, Pastor Lorenzo Sewell stood up and spoke at the Dearborn City Council and spoke out against the Sharia Islamic law that is trying to take over the country. He laid it all out. He is inspiration. He stands his ground. He speaks the truth. So this is his entire speech at the City Council in Dearborn just the other day.
My name is Pastor Lorenzo Sewell. I have the honor and the privilege of being the senior pastor of 180 Church, where President Donald Trump came for his birthday weekend. It was there that I had an opportunity to pray over the president. And it was at that moment that he told me I would pray at the inauguration and I would be able to preach at the rededication. The reason why I'm here today, because Dearborn, in all of your prosperity and everything that you've done, the spirit of Hubbard is still in this city. The spirit of racism still dwells in this city. This is a city that has prospered with your mosque and your call to prayer. But yet it's on the back of my people. It's on the back of black people that we have funded everything you do. You look down on us. Your police enact injustice on us. And when Jake Lane talked about Jesus, he was assaulted because you are not up under American law. You are up under Sharia law. That is the reason why you have made no arrest. You laugh. You are 3 generations of racism in this very city. You know it. You have seen what has happened in this city. And it is my people that have funded you. It's my people that made sure that you have what you had. And you spit on us, you degrade us, but you're only 1% of this nation. We are not a nation of Muslims. We are a nation of Christians. We are one nation under God, indivisible, the God of the Bible, the God of the Lord Jesus Christ. That's the God in whom we serve. I want you to prove to me we're not up under Sharia law. Will you denounce, Councilman O'Reilly, will you denounce Sharia law? Will you denounce Sharia law? Will you I know you won't. Will you denounce Sharia law? Abraham, you went to Hillsdale. Will you renounce Sharia law? Will you renounce Sharia law? America, we have lost this city. This is a city that is no longer up under American laws. We are up under Sharia law, and we will not have it anymore. Remaining. Enough is enough.
All right, order. We're gonna have order in the meeting. We're gonna have order in the meeting.
There are still bold pastors out there. And that should inspire us. That should keep us fired up. That there are still pastors out there that are standing up for the gospel, that are standing up against this demonic push against the gospel of Jesus Christ.